Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. For those who do not know me and are not familiar, my name is Connor. I go by Connor on Chain. And today I want to discuss a fairly new development in the Kaspa ecosystem. And I want to talk about Kaspa, Memecoins, and KRC20s today. So, me personally, I've actually never spoken about Kaspa on the channel in my life. I have nothing negative or positive to say about Kaspa. I just know for a fact the community is very, very strong. The attention on Kaspa is here, and I know for a fact that there are going to be many people who want to get into, basically tokens on the Kaspa ecosystem, at the ground floor. And the future attention is going to be heavily on Kaspa tokens, specifically Kaspa meme coins. So I want to cover this today because there are a lot of similarities between BRC20 and runes, and it's going to be very similar to Kaspa and how these tokens are minted, how you can buy them, sell them, and if you guys do not know, I was very early to BRC20s. I'm very experienced with that ecosystem, and like I said, it's very similar in how it works. So I'm going to talk about, different projects, like specifically meme coins, but then also how to mint different platforms to mint what wallet, and just a lot of things you guys should know ahead of time, just because I know for a fact it's, how it's going to operate, like the mint and, buying all these tokens. So let's just jump into it. So first off, we're going to cover, first off to Kaspa, shout out to Kaspa. It's been a very, very, very strong, almost up only asset over the last few months. Many people who got in early, you guys have just made consistent long-term gains. Obviously it's up and down, but so is the whole market, right? But beautiful chart for a brand new asset. But let's dive in. So for KRC20s, so we got Kasflex here, which is looking like it's going to be one of two main platforms or protocols to actually mint KRC20 tokens. So I have the website up here. You can check any Kaspa address, I guess, for KRC20 balances. But as you can see, this is kind of what it looks like here. We got mints, we got all in progress mints completed. So this is going to be the first one, Kasplex, and their Twitter. He's literally at Kasplex here. You can check it out. So this is going to be one platform, I assume, in which you're going to be able to mint on mainnet, which is coming soon. So KRC20s are not launched yet. Keep that in mind. And so the wallet that you're going to be using is the Kasware wallet. So, first open source Chrome wallet for Kaspa, to be able to mint in this stuff. So you literally can click this, create your wallet. I've already done so. Added it to, my 25 different wallet extensions up top. And so this is the Kasware wallet. So I've not used this yet. I plan on sending a little bit of Kaspa into this, obviously for prepping for launch, right? I'm not going to be sending a huge balance again because this is a brand new wallet. So this is the Kasware to XYZ, which I assume they're going to be also another platform for minting as well, not just a wallet. But for now, that is mainly going to be the platforms that, through my research I've seen that are going to be used to, store your KRC20s and also mint. And so again, I want to bring up a lot with BRC20s and runes right now, in a sense where I think KRC20s are going to operate very, very similarly to this. And a good example is going to be on Unisat here. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem or BRC20s or runes, it's very, very similar to how it operates. Just a quick thing too is the Kasware wallet is very similar to Unisat, which this is Unisat. This is a tutorial wallet I've created. But it's going to operate very similarly in the sense of how tokens are deployed, how tokens are minted, how they're bought and sold. And there's a lot of things you guys need to know. Again, before we get into, the nitty gritty, the meme coins you guys want to know. So let's jump into that as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is, actually inscribing, or basically, creating like your own token. And so anyone's going to be able to do this. And so KRC20, I assume, is going to be in between 4 to 6 digit or number, whatever, ticker length, 4 to 6. So it's going to operate very similar. The platform is going to have, KRC20. You can deploy, and then deploy is going to be an option. So then you can create whatever the ticker is for BRC20s here. This is the 4 byte, so you can only do 4 character tickers here. But let's say KASP is going to be the KRC20 you want to deploy. So deploy max, this is going to be similar again. It's going to be basically the max supply of your KRC20. Again, this is if you're deploying the actual token. What is your max supply? Do you want it to be 21 million just like Bitcoin? You want it to be 10 billion? You're going to be able to choose that. So let's say for the example, we'll do 1,000 here. So you're going to be able to mint 1,000 KASP tokens maximum, right? And so what limit per mint means is that every time you go and mint a token, you're minting in batches of 10. It's not like an exchange like Dex Screener, using a Dex or just even a regular exchange, where you can just throw any amount of money in, like 200, 300, let's say $347 you want to buy of, random project, on an exchange or a Dex. You can just buy and swap that instantly, right? Minus the little fee. But when it comes to minting tokens, again, you mint in batches of 10, and depending on the network fee of Kaspa, which I'm not too sure how that's going to be, or how much that's going to be, for every single batch mint you create of 10 that you want to mint, it's going to cost a certain amount of Kaspa. It might cost, 0.01 Kaspa, which, would be like less than a penny or something, right? But it could cost, up to like 1 Kaspa per batch mint here, and so let's say you want to mint, I want to mint 100 KASP tokens, right? It's like obviously outside of the 1,000 supply here. If you wanted to mint 100 of these, but the limit is set to 10, you got to keep in mind that what it's going to do is it's going to basically batch mint 10 sets of 10 tokens. If you want to get 100, so you can't just mint 100 tokens, in one transaction. At the end of the day, it's going to be in one transaction, but it will show that you've minted almost 10 separate times. That's kind of how it works when you're minting, when you're using BRC20's runes. And again, I assume that's how KRC20 will operate. So keep that in mind, because the gas fee is going to change, or the fee to actually inscribe or mint is going to change based on how many batches of whatever the limit is for the token. It's going to change every single batch that you want to add to that. So keep that in mind. So that is going to be, again, that's how, when you're going to mint, for deployment, like I said, it's going to be the same thing. You just choose your ticker, your max supply, your limit here, and you deploy it. You pay whatever amount of Kaspa it's going to be, and then your token is going to be live. And this is probably how the platform is going to look. This is going to be open. Again, once KRC20 starts, I'm just trying to find like some open tokens. There's going to be a limit here. And so let's say this is a KRC20. You want to mint CDOT. You can mint directly. So this is the ticker, the amount. So the amount here, this is like the amount set, the limit per mint basically. But let's say I want to mint it 170 times. So it'd be 170 times whatever amount this is. You hit next. So it's showing you it's going to create this many basically mints that you're going to do, right? So that's how it's going to operate, I believe, with mints. So listing and buying and selling, like that's kind of how you're going to be minting. once the marketplace is created, to actually buy and sell, that's going to be interesting. I don't really know too much on what platforms are going to be, the best for it. I assume, again, Casplex at some point may integrate that. That's probably going to be very similar. So something else you also need to know, again, before we get into meme coins, is the fact of how to actually list. So this, again, it's not 100% guaranteed that it's going to work like this, but I assume so. Let's say you have a KRC20 up, you have your wallet connected, whatever. So when you go to list your asset, it does not work the same way an exchange or a DEX works. If you have, let's say you minted this token, it's up a 22x. Let's say you made $10,000 profit from that. When you go to list, these almost list like they're NFTs. They list in batches. So again, if you want the $10,000 in one chunk listed, you would list all your tokens. You'd have to inscribe a transfer, which, it's almost saying sometimes not sometimes, you have to create 2 transactions basically to list all your tokens to actually get them sold. But the thing with the batch transactions is, again, if you have $10,000 profit, let's say you want to list all 10,000 in one batch, you just take all your tokens you have listed, hit sell, inscribe the transfer, and then also list it on the platform to sell. What that means is now you have to wait for a buyer that is going to buy the entire $10,000 chunk of profit in one transaction. Like I said, it's not going to be like a regular DEX or something where you can just buy and sell and swap instantly. You have to wait for a buyer that is going to buy the chunk of tokens listed at the price you have. So something I heavily recommend for everyone, if you start, making a ton of gains really quickly, you're definitely going to want to list in multiple chunks. Again, if you have $10,000 profit, and you don't think there's going to be many buyers that are going to buy $10,000 in one purchase, like as you can see right here, this token here, someone listed a $17,000 chunk of this wizard token, when what they should do, if they want to get potentially more sales, is just split this up, right? They could do 500, 6 different times, or they could do, 1,000 3 times, right? That would just, make it a little bit smaller of an amount, right? Just to make it easier for other buyers to actually jump in and for your tokens to actually sell. So that's something very important you should know, because again, I firmly believe it's going to be very similar to how KRC20s work, like these BRC20s here. So keep that in mind. So that's going to be how it works for buying and selling, as well as minting. And again, for the Kaspa wallet, like I said, you'll be able to connect this. It's going to pop up whatever to mint, to buy, to sell. But just keep, you're going to want to keep some Cas in there, extra for fees, because I don't know what the Kaspa network is. I don't know how their fees are going to be once it's out. But so outside of that, that's mainly what I wanted to show everybody and how to prepare. Again, that's all you got to do. You get your Kaspa on an exchange, send, as of right now, maybe a little bit of Kaspa into your wallet here. And then, just wait for launch, and then you can mint whatever amount of tokens potentially on Casplex or Casware. Yeah, but as you can see, it looks very similar right here. Casplex, they got the in-progress mints, completed mints. So again, it's just going to be a waiting game until KRC20 launches. But so as of right now, let's get into some of the meme coins that I personally believe will have a lot of potential. So the first one that I mainly want to watch for and focus on is Kaspa coin. I think it's pretty cool. The ghost of Kaspa, and and with meme coins, I can't evaluate this like it's a, like it's the next major utility project, right? It's all just opinion based. This, I'm just trying to show you guys different tokens that I personally think are whether they're pretty cool. I like the branding, the logo, potentially the team. But with Kaspa, this coin, I don't know too much about it, but I like that they're very active, and like I said, this one could be a good one to be watching. A second one is actually Nacho the Cat. I think this one too, specifically, I've actually been in a space or two with them. The team seems very professional, around, just assisting with the community. Because I've seen in their spaces, they talk about, minting and all this different stuff as well. And they're dropping videos very soon on, minting and all this different stuff. They're very active. I think once this launches, it's going to be very successful. I really have a feeling it will. But this is Nacho the Cat. Pretty interesting. Excuse me. Caster coin. This one I don't know too much about. I've seen this a little bit here and there. But kind of interesting. It's cool to be that some of these coins are already, trying to list on exchanges. Not exchanges, I'm sorry. Like CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. That's good to see. So this one, to me, it seems like it might be pretty serious. Look, yeah, they already want to get listed on Mexi, which is pretty cool. Another one is Goad, which is... Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. No. This one's kind of interesting too, though, as well. Goad coin. I assume it's Ghost Toad combo. I don't know. So you don't know. No one really knows how these are gonna do. Again, nothing is actually out yet for KRC20. So once everything is actually out, once potentially if the hype is there, if the hype dies, we're gonna see how the communities are, how the communities react to KRC20s once they're launched. And personally, I think if KRC20s do get a lot more hype, even though I know they are getting a lot more attention right now, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what is going to happen during the launch. We could see a lot of coins pump, the first couple days, and then they dump, again, depending too on even Kaspa network fees. Because, I look at BRC20s, how they launched. They kind of launched way different than how Runes launched in a sense of attention. Because usually, when you're dealing with something like when Runes launched, I feel like most people in crypto were, trying to gear up to then mint, some of the first runes or some top runes, hour one, like day one. But with BRC20s, it was different because, there close to no people even looking into that ecosystem. It was very experimental at the time. And the attention just wasn't there. So coins weren't doing anything for a while, but they eventually pumped once attention actually came to it. So there's a good chance that, even though this is going to be a brand new protocol, there's a good chance that a lot of these tokens do not end up performing right off the bat. They might take a little while. KRC20s might need to launch. Their hype might need to fade for a while before we really see, those actual solid communities form to then take these meme coins into the next level over the next potentially 3 to 6 months. That's how I personally see this launch going for all these tokens, And also another one too, something that's pretty interesting is going to be the first ever KRC20 coin to launch. That's obviously going to be up to when, tokens are actually able to mint, when the actual protocol is out, right? But, if you guys are familiar with BRC20s, we saw Ordi, which was the first ever BRC20 minted, like ever. That had one of the greatest runs, I think, of all time for the BRC20 ecosystem. And that's going to be something to also pay attention to in KRC20s once they launch. Because, you never know. Obviously, I think some of the best communities in KRC20s will run very well. I think short term and long term, but it's going to be interesting to see the first ever KRC20 when it mints, and what what it kind of does, But that's how I see the launch going. But I just wanted to put all this information together for you guys because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff if you aren't familiar with how these meta protocols work or UTXO based blockchains. if that's what you want to call it, like how they work when you're not dealing with smart contracts like you're dealing with on ETH, on Solana. You know, the way that you create the way that you mint out, buy things, sell things, it's all a little different. So it's just important to know all that stuff. And there's a sheet I saw here on Twitter. Shout out to Crypto Bank, because if you guys want to look more into different meme coins, these are a bunch of them that are, you know, out right now happening. Like I said, Nacho the Cat and Kaspa are probably my favorite right now. There's an RWA energy coin. I assume it's called Fusion. But you can check all these out. Just check it out. I just said that. But outside of that, that's what I wanted to show you guys. And I appreciate you watching. I hope you got some value out of this. And like I said, just get a Kaspa wallet, you know, and just be patient. Just wait for KRC20s to launch and see what happens. So that's what I got for you guys today. Again, I appreciate you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.